Hey guys, so today we will be doing June 2022. So this paper is June 2022, number 2 question. So the first question said part 1 is factorize completely the following quadratic expression. So first off, in a quadratic expression, we know it is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. If we look at the form it's supposed to be in, we can clearly see A is equal to 5, B is equal to -9, and C is equal to 4. Right? Now, when we are factorizing, right, this is the process in which we factorize. To factorize, we say A multiplied by C, which is 5 by 4 is 20. That is, your first step is to locate what is A, B, and C. Your second step is to multiply A by C, right? And then your third step is to write your factors of 20, which is 1 multiplied by what would give you 20, 1 multiplied by 20, 2 multiplied by what would give you 20, 2 multiplied by 10. Can 3 go into 20? No. What about 4? 4 multiplied by what would give you 25. So we know it is 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So these are your factors of 20. Let me just erase this because I left a big space. Right. So we saw these are your factors of 20. Now we know B is equal to -9. We are going to look at the factors of 20, and remember we did it in pairs. 1 multiplied by 20, 2 multiplied by 10, 4 multiplied by 5. We're going to take each pair and you're going to add it and or subtract it to see if we get 9. Which one would give you 9? 1 and 20 would be the first pair. If you add or subtract 1 and 20, you could never get 9. What about 2 and 10? Nope. So the last one is 4 and 5. If we add 4 and 5, right, let's forget about the negative sign for now. We know B is equals to 4 plus 5. But we want -9, so to change a positive into a negative, we multiply by -1. So I would multiply this entire thing by -1. So B is now -4 minus 5, which will give you -9. So wherever you see B, you're going to put -4 and -5. All right? Now, after you do that, let's just put this on the space. The equation becomes 5x squared, open bracket, -4 minus 5, all by x, because the relationship between b and x is multiplication, right? Plus 4. So the brackets mean we multiply. So it's going to be 5x minus 4x minus 5x plus 4. So now, your next step is we have 4 algebraic expressions. So we group the two. We group them in pairs. So we have 5x squared minus 4x. And then we always put plus. And then we have minus 5x plus 4. Right? Now we factorize each bracket. So I mean, what number could go into 5 and 4 at the same time? No number. Well, except 1. What about x squared and x? So x. So x could go into that. X by what would give you 5x squared? 5x. And x multiplied by what would give you -4x? -4. You close your bracket. Then you do the same thing here. Right? We have to make sure, guys, and get 5x minus 4. Please note that you have to make sure that your brackets are the same. If it is not the same, then your factors or somewhere you went wrong. So now we're going from 5x to -5x. We know that is -1. So now we check -1 by 5x will give you -5x, and -1 by -4 will give you +4. So we know these are your factors. Now 5x minus 4 is what they have in common, so that would be one bracket, and then your next bracket would be what you have outside your brackets, which would be x minus 1. So this is your factorization, 5x minus 4 by x minus 1. And that is how you do part A part 1. Now there's A part 2, right? A part 2 say hence solve the following equation. Now when you see the word hence, that just means you have to use what you found from above to solve this question, right? Now we know that this 5x squared minus 9x plus 4 is equal to 5x minus 4 by x minus 1. So it's safe to say you can say 5x minus 4 by x minus 1 would all be equal to 0. Now, when you are solving a quadratic via factorization form, you let each bracket be equal to 0. So you're going to let's say 5x minus 4 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. That is one of your steps. And then next step would be you make x the subject for each one. So we carry across minus 4, that will turn to plus 4, so 5x is equals to 4. Then we carry across multiply by 5. The opposite of multiply by 5 is divide by 5, so it'll be 4 over 5. So x is equals to 4 over 5, or you bring over minus 1 and that will turn to positive 1. So x is equal to 1. So the two answers would be x is equals to 4 over 5 or x is equal to 1. And that is your answer. Right? Then we have this right here. Make v the subject of the formula. So we're going to do cross multiplication. When you have a question like this and you have is equal to a fraction, meaning it have a numerator and a denominator, right? 5 plus v is a numerator and v minus 3 is your denominator, we cross multiply. What that means, I'm going to multiply w by down here, and then I'm going to multiply 1 by the top part here. So it is now going to become w multiplied by v minus 3, right, cross multiplication, is equal to 1 by 5 plus v, right? So w by v is wv, w by minus 3 is minus 3w, is equal to 5 plus v, right? Now, we want to make v the subject. So let's carry all the v's on one side and all the others on the next side. So we're going to carry across minus 3w on one side. So wv is equals to 5 plus v plus 3w, and then you're going to carry across v on the next side, so plus v is going to turn to minus v. So we have wv minus v is equals to 5 plus 3w. Now we have two v's there and we want it to be one v because we want v to be the subject. So we factorize out v on this side. So it's v because wv and v have v in common. So v by w would give you wv, and v by what would give you minus v? That would be minus 1. Right, is equals to 5 plus 3w. Now the relationship between v and these brackets is multiplication. So you're going to carry across multiply by, and that'll turn to divide. So v is now equal to, hold on, let's do it on the side. V is equal to 5 plus 3w all over w minus 1. And that is how you would make v the subject of the formula. All right, now let's look at this question. This question states the height of an object is directly proportional to the square root of its perimeter. So let's write what they said. The sign for directly proportional is this little x sign to the square root of the perimeter. Now, when you have directly proportional, that just means h is equal to some constant. I'm saying the constant is k by the perimeter. So you can either put this or this. Either one will be correct, right? So this is exactly what the equation is telling you, right? But if you want to put it in terms where you don't have that directly proportional sign and you want to put an equal sign, this directly proportional just means you have to multiply the perimeter by some constant, right? I would stick with this, directly proportional to the square root of p. Now, let's go to the second part. Given that h is 4, so they're telling you h is equals to 5.4 and p is equals to 1.44. Determine, now, if we're using our equation, we don't know. If we're using this equation, h is equals to k, the square root of p, we don't know what k is equal to, right? So k is the unknown that we know. K is equal to, let's just say k. We don't know what k is equal, right? We're using h is equals to k by the square root of p, right? It said determine the value of h where p is 2.89. Now, something that you need to know is k is also known as a constant, so it does not change. What changes would be the height and the parameter, but your constant for k will not change. So let's find out. If we find out for k, we can do this last part here. So they're telling you, right, 5.4 is equal to k by the square root of 1.44. So when we have this, we make k the subject of the formula. Now, to make k the subject of the formula, we carry across, actually find the square root of 1.44. You use a calculator, you say the square root of 1.44 is actually equal to 1.2. So you're saying 5.4 is equals to k by 1.2. Right, the relationship between k and 1.2 is multiplication. So if you want k by itself and you carry across, multiply by 1.2, it'll turn to divide by 1.2. So k is equals to 5.4 divided by 1.2. Use a calculator. 5.4 divided by 1.2 is equals to 4.5. So you know your constant is equals to 4.5. Now, if you know your constant is 4.5, the second part will become easier because we know we want to find for h. h is equals to constant by the square root of p. We know our constant is 4.5, so h is equals to 4.5 by the square root of 2.89. You put exactly this in your calculator. 4.5 multiplied by the second function, the square root sign, right? 2.89, close brackets, and you're going to get h, in this case, would be 7.65. And that is how you would do this question. Right? Now that is all for this. Right? I will go on to the next question.